Hello everyone, welcome to Most CD Culture Show and Tell, and on this episode is Puscifer. And of course we're going to be starting with the first album. V is for Vagina. Yes, I said it. It's a great album, but I have to be honest with you. I was in Montreal when this first came out, and I remember when I was in I believe the place was HMV up in Montreal at the time. So I went in there and they had these listening booths. And of course, me being a big Maynard James Keenan fan, of course, this is his third band. I was expecting more of a Tool sound. Because even A Perfect Circle, as different as it is from Tool, it's still recognizable as, you hear Maynard and it's like, it still has a vibe of a Tool vibe. But this was so different than that. My expectations of what I was expecting and from what I was getting were so off that I was turned off at first. Because I went into the sampling booth and you only have a certain amount of time, so I'm sampling just the first 60 seconds of each of the songs, and I'm not really liking what I'm hearing at first. I was kind of disappointed. So I don't buy the album and I go home and I'm thinking about it. About a week or two goes by and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I think I judged that a little too harshly. I think my expectations clouded my judgment on that. And I need to listen to this again because it's better than I gave it credit for. I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, something was bugging me about that listening because like I have to listen to it again. I have to go and actually buy it because I know it's good. Something about it told me that I know it's good, but I just had to re-listen to it, and I'm glad I did because then like when I heard it and like, okay, no expectations. I laid back. I played the whole thing because I just sampled the first parts of it a little bit here and there. It was because he was doing such a different type of voice and it was such a different kind of beat, and I didn't get it at first. I didn't. But the second time when I really listened to the whole thing, I really got it. I was like, oh, okay. And then it clicked in, and I really appreciated it. And then I really started loving it. So yeah, Puscifer became one up there in my favorite bands, of course, because it's Maynard. It's pure Maynard, one way or another. So I mean, and this, of course, it starts off with Queen Bee, and if you want to, first of all, take a look at the package. It's like an airline pamphlet, like those with the warnings and everything. I'm not going to go into much detail about it, but that's the pretty much the contents of the inside. You know, you're gonna fly vagina air. Woohoo! Anyway. So it starts off, of course, with Queen Bee, Dozo, and if anybody who doesn't know, there's four different versions that has the intro at the beginning, depending on which package you get, because it's all the same package. But you could randomly get one with it has four different intros to that song. Because I had this once when I was in Montreal. Then I had, of course, rebought this again when I was in Moncton. And the rebought is when the second time I bought this, the intro was different, and then I'm like, did I actually hear that wrong? But no, I found out. I actually looked into it, and it's a different intro. But then you get Vagina Mine, Mama Said, which is awesome, Drunk with Power, The Undertaker, Trekka. Then there's Indigo Children, which is my favorite song on the album, absolutely, for sure. Sour Grapes, and Revelations 2220, the Dry Martini Mix. and it's a splendid album. Once I got past that whole initial, expectations, because you should never have any expectations going into anything. That ruins the experience every time. When you're going into a movie, I got expectations that this movie should be the way it should be. No, you're gonna always be disappointed. I go in always no expectations, and when I take those expectations out of the equation, that's when I start loving stuff. I tell ya. Then we get into one of probably my favorite album in some ways of Puscifer, and that's Conditions of My Parole. Absolutely brilliant stuff. It's so the flow of it is so brilliant. And you start with Tiny Monsters, you get the Green Valley, Monsoons, Telling Ghosts, Horizons. My second favorite song, Man Overboard, Toma, The Rapture, and then my favorite song, especially the extended cut of the video, the title track, Conditions of My Parole. Ah, awesome. Love that song. The Weaver, the Haunting Oceans, which I love, and then Tumbleweed is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful album. It's a must get. I would suggest getting this one first, or any one first. It doesn't matter because they're all splendid. So to continue, we're going to go off to the remixes. Yeah, that's a companion to this. Check out those covers. So basically, it's all the same tracks I just listed, but a cool remix. There's a construct remix, a JLE, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go in who does what, but it's actually a pretty awesome variance of this. So when you get tired of listening to this, which I would never do anyway, I could listen to that forever. You got this, that's just all, I said in a previous, okay, I want to amend something here for a moment. I had said in one of my previous episodes, that Belle and Sebastian, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. That Belle and Sebastian would be in my deserted island mix. If I was on an island and I only could choose one band, it would it would be that. However, if you could include like an artist, all his collected work, okay. So if I would choose all of Maynard James Keenan's collected work, that's going with Tool, A Perfect Circle, and Puscifer, then I would bring his collection onto the deserted island. Absolutely, 100%. But if I can only pick one of the bands, whether it's Puscifer, whether it's it would be Belle and Sebastian. I can't tell you why. I just love Belle and Sebastian. It's funny to say, but they could be my second or third favorite band. They're really up there in quality for me. But yeah, these are great companion pieces to have. Must get. So now we're kind of come to a couple of beautiful little EPs that I have. The first one is the Donkey Punch the Night. It's brilliant. It's great. It starts off with an awesome cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. Then you get Breathe. And one of my favorite songs on here is Dear Brother. Then you get Accepts, Balls to the Walls, which is awesome. Then you get an alternate mix of Breathe and Dear Brother. And then you get an alternate mix of Balls to the Walls. So it's a pretty fabulous EP. It's not very long. It's a pretty short little thing, which is why it's an EP. And then you come to the next EP, which is the C is for Insert Yeah, please insert sophomoric genitalia reference here. The EP. Take a look at that cover. And that was that say, maybe now they'll believe in miracles. Laugh out loud. Haha. Which is a great cover. It's a great cover. But it has such great songs on it too. It starts off with Polar Bear, and then there's The Mission, which is with Mila Jovovich. You know, from the from she did all those Resident Evil movies, and she also did the Fifth Element, which I love. And then you get a couple of live versions of Mama Said and Vagina Mine, and then you get Potions, and then you get the Humbling River, and it's a beautiful, beautiful little EP. So, without going too much more into depth about everything here, just is my favorite. It's a great little collection, but I'm not done yet. This is only part one. Stay tuned for part two next. So, farewell for now. Until the next episode, that is. So, I say good evening, good day, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. I'll see you on the flip side. Take care, be safe, and bye. Later.